Hey, y'all, welcome back to Mirror Expression. Hey. Don't ask me where they came from because I don't know. But, anyways, welcome back, you all. This is a channel where I share a little bit about myself with you all through my thoughts, opinions, perceptions, and I just express it here on this platform. And I invite y'all to come on in and do the same with me, okay? Go ahead, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And you know what? Let your girl know how you are doing. Like, if you have looked in a mirror today, yes, boo, I am loving what I'm seeing, and you feel a-okay with what you see looking back at you, go ahead, drop me a mirror emoji in the chat, y'all. Alright. Season 2, episode 22, Franklin Institute. Y'all, it's the season finale. Sad face. Because this is like my favorite show. So anyways, this is the episode where they take their kids on their big field trip that they were fundraising for a few episodes back, right? So it opens up with Mr. Johnson in a break room when Gregory walks in on his phone, right? So he's speaking with his dad. So y'all can already imagine how this conversation is going, right? It was like, "Thank you, sir. I will deliberate on the objective and report back." Y'all know how they talk to each other. Like they straight up in a military camp or something. So Mr. Johnson, of course, is just hearing that one side of the conversation. And he's like, "Boy, are you in the FBI?" And so Gregory is just like, no, that was my dad. And so Mrs. Johnson was just like, "This how you talk to your dad?" And Gregory said, "Yeah, he's trying to get me to come up for the summer and work with his landscaping company." Mr. Johnson was like, "You're probably plotting on how to assassinate another black community leader." Then he say, COINTELPRO assassinated Tina Marie, right? Gregory said Tina Marie is not even white. Here go Mr. Johnson to you with his nose all scrunched up. Oh, so Mr. Johnson goes on to say he wants to work in landscaping. That he loves nature, especially mushrooms. I said, "I just bet you do, Mr. Johnson." So he says the only way that Gregory got into it was nepotism, right? So Gregory's like, "How do I even lead this conversation?" Meanwhile, Mr. Johnson is just going on talking about Eddie Lawn and care doesn't even roll off your tongue. But Mr. Johnson and Eddie Landscaping, on the other hand, now that's a company you can trust. Janine ends up walking in, right? She just speaks to the both of them, and then it just hear her like, "Mr. Johnson, I don't even know what your first name is." And he tells her that when, she go home tonight, go out and look up in the sky because it's written in the stars. Shadeen is looking like, what the hell? Gregory said, he on one today. Probably on them mushrooms he loves so much. Anyway. So Janine comes to Gregory's class, right? They're discussing what he's packed for the field trip since it's an overnight trip, right? So he goes down his list, his do-rag, his vitamins, his overnight socks. Baby, when he said that, I was overjoyed. Do you hear me? Because, honey, I too do overnight socks. I am not alone. Oh, goodness. Oh, child, no matter what I'm wearing or not wearing, I have to have socks on when I sleep. I got to. Like, if my feet are cold, I am no good for the rest of the night. for the rest of the night. And so I gotta have my socks on, and it shall not be any socks that I wore during the day. So, like, even if I'm packing for a trip, I do. I literally have a bag for my day socks and one for my night socks. Like, they cannot get mixed up. The two cannot get mixed up. Oh, child. Y'all don't know how that did my soul to know I got a twin out there. So, anyway, Janine is questioning his night socks. And so he said, yeah, for after I take off my day socks. Period, Pooh. I see you, Gregory. We see each other. Anyway, Janine and Gregory, they're doing a confessional together, right? So Janine is like, telling us about how they're going to the Franklin Institute. And so Gregory ends up chiming in and talking about something. Yeah, it's a sleepover. And Janine is like, yeah, it's our first sleepover. And then they kind of look at each other because they realize what she just said. And then you know how they try to come back and clean stuff up because neither of us have ever done a sleepover before with the kids and the teachers. I said, oh, just give it up. Just give it up. just be quiet, okay? So we find out that Ava has paired the two of them up as group buddies, Janine and Gregory, right? So Janine ends up suggesting that Gregory watch the night at the museum to prepare for this trip. So it had probably been a few days when she said that or whatever. So anyway, we just kind of find out that, and so because in their conversation, Gregory says something alluded to the fact that he actually watched the movie. And so she's just like, you watched it? He said, yeah, I always take your suggestions seriously. I said, oh, because she was just smiling, just blushing. She really liked it. Y'all, my hand is still hurting. Y'all see how swollen it is? Y'all see how fat those... I mean, I got fat, chubby hands anyways, but... can y'all see the difference? It's swollen. It's so tight. It hurts. I had an injury and I really need to go get it checked out. It was a medical injury. Doctor made it accidents. But I really think I'm having some effects from it. And I had been kind of lollygagging about going to get a second opinion about it, but I think I'm gonna have to break down and go ahead and do that because at this point it's been about 2 months and I'm still having those lingering side effects, and like some days it just gets really worse. Like days when I usually use this hand the most, like when I'm typing my notes out while I'm watching the shows like that. And so yeah, this hand is swelling and it even hurts to feel so tight when I make a fist. So anyway, sorry y'all, I'll be telling y'all all my business. I know y'all probably like okay, we don't care about that right now. It's okay, just fast forward through that part. So anyway, Ava come in with her bag, right? So she coming like out her office. Then we see Melissa with her bag, right? Clanking all around everywhere because she done brought a whole bat with her, talking about she can't sleep without it. Oh, child, that doggone Melissa. And then here go, hey, Barbara rolling up with a holder, a suitcase, and an overnight bag, right? Talking about she has an extensive nighttime regimen that will not be abandoned because of an overnight youth excursion. Okay, Barbara. Honey, why Ava tried to take a look into her bag talking about what you got in there? And Barbara stopped that thing so quick, talking about, don't you hear the bell ringing? So Melissa and Ava like, With no bell ringing. They just looking around like, is there a bell? Literally, Barbara got these fools looking around where the bell is, and then about 10 seconds later, here go the bell ringing. Barbara talking about, lucky us, 2 bell a day. And she leaves taking that overnight bag with her. Like she left that big suitcase sitting up there by that front door though. Oh, child. Can I insert right here, Barbara? Sarah, I peeped you in your red and your pearls. Ooh. Oh, I noticed you had your red and your pearls on, baby. I ain't mad at you. Anyway, so they're waiting outside. Like the teachers, the students, they're waiting for the buses to come pick them up, take them for the trip, right? So one kid is asking, "Are we there yet?" I'm like, "Baby, y'all ain't even left the school yet. What you mean?" Anyway, while they're waiting outside, Janine ends up spotting Maurice, right? Mo. He walking by, and honey, she tried to speak, y'all. She did. And baby, he turned his head, so she ends up going up to him. And she's just like, "I'm sorry about the surprise appearance." He said, "Yeah, I did walk this way assuming you would be inside." Oh, child. So she says, "I really wanted to apologize for how things went down in Bowtown." He said, "You ever notice how people say they want to apologize for something instead of just apologizing?" Oh, he's having no pause for Janine right now. None. He is not feeling her at all. So Janine says, "I'm sorry." He said, "It's all good. Gregory told me not to date you anyway, but I did." He said, "We both deny selfish errors." Y'all, so Janine and Maurice are talking. Oh, child. So as they're talking, Gregory, he watching them from afar. He watching them, and one of the parents of his students is sitting there trying to tell him how her son is when he sleeps. Like he will pretend like he's asleep, but he's really not. So you really need to keep a close eye on him because he really bad as hell. Basically, is what she's saying. But Gregory too busy trying to figure out what Janine and Maurice are over there talking about. That he's not paying attention to his parent, right? So back over with Janine now. She's over there stuck on being called selfish. Y'all know how she get in her head about stuff, right? So Maurice said, "Yeah, so you think it's okay to invite a guy you're dating to his favorite restaurant just to show up with his friend who you kissed and are not dating just to break up with him?" So Janine was just like, "Wow, I didn't think of it like that." Y'all know she's stuck in her head. So Maurice is not making it any better. Talking about he was ghosting this girl, but this conversation has inspired him to reach out to her because he wouldn't want to hurt her like he was hurt. Yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah, oh my goodness. So now Janine is like, she thought she was making progress this year, but to hurt someone who didn't deserve it without knowing because she was being selfish, she never wants to do that again. Now, this is what she said in her confessional, okay? Oh, child. So now Janine in a whole mood. They done made it to the Franklin Institute. She acting weird towards Gregory. He picking up on the strange vibes, but he doesn't know why or understand like what's up with her, like why she's not her usual bubbly self, why she being that way toward him, right? He don't know what it is. So their tour guide is tour guiding, or so she thinks. And so she's kind of showing like the students, Melissa and Jacob's students are up there with the tour guide. And so Melissa drops info that Philadelphia actually used to be the nation's capital. And one of the students was like, really? And honey, that tour guide knew nothing. Y'all know Jacob gonna try to take up for everybody and make sure everybody looking good. He talking about, oh, the student really knew that, and the tour guide didn't know nothing. Albeit just temporarily, the tour guide did not know about it. So Melissa started clowning the girl, y'all, and it was a young girl too. And y'all know Melissa is like no holds barred, baby. She does not hold back. Talking about so the girl, she asked the girl where she was from, and so the girl ended up saying she was from New York. Well, here go Melissa talking about, you done moved down here from New York, don't know the history, and got the nerve to be up here working in a museum. I said, oh my goodness, Melissa, leave that little girl alone. So the little girl was just like, well, I'm just a volunteer. Melissa said, and you're worth every penny they're paying you. Yeah, I died when she said that, and you are worth every penny they are paying you. Oh, y'all, that took me out. Cause little baby ain't getting paid nothing. Oh, goodness. Oh, then Melissa was done, and she went on to usher her students on out. Melissa was like, I'll be my own tour guide. Oh my goodness. She was like, I got it from here. Thanks for no thanks. Oh, child. So Ava is with a group of students, right? And they're looking at like the solar system. So one of the students ends up reading a quote that said, the unbounded emptiness of space is incomprehensible to the human mind, right? And so Ava said, I don't know why they wasting time telling y'all about what isn't there. What you need to be worrying about is what is. So she starts telling them that aliens exist. So she's really building it all up, filling their heads about these aliens and how you may not know where they are. Barbara was just like, stop, you are scaring the children. Ava's like, shoot, don't you know how much of the ocean is unexplored by humans? Like, they might already be here drinking Mai Tais and using the Indian Ocean as a lazy river. Oh, that doggone Ava, y'all. That doggone Ava. Anyway, so we see a student come up to Janine. She was like, Mr. Eddie taught me a song. She go, chugga, 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 free hugs. And so she gives Janine a hug. And, it was meant to be a little cute little thing. And I know he probably did it to try to put a smile on Janine's face. Because, like, she has literally been in this funk since speaking to Maurice and learning that she has been selfish and that she hurt somebody. And so, Greg was kind of just standing back watching the whole interaction, right? And so after he saw the hug didn't cheer her up, he goes on up to her and he wants to know like if she's okay. And she said that she's fine. And he tells her, well, how his dad wants him to come to Baltimore for the summer, which by the way is only an hour away by train. But then he was thinking about staying in Philly for the summer. And so he asked her, well, what do you think? And Janine was just like, well, you do what you want to do. Like, you should go. Like, if that's what you want. And he said, well, maybe, but I was thinking, we could hang out for the summer and maybe watch, the other parts tonight at the museum. And so she was like, you seen one, you seen them all. Seen them all. And y'all know that's not typical Janine. Janine probably would have been eating it up like, yeah, we can watch one over, part 2, part 3, like however many parts of it. What's going on out there, y'all? Fire truck. Fire chief. I wonder. But anyways, I done had a lot of interruptions in this video, haven't it? And let me get y'all this episode. So yeah, he was just like, we could do that. She was just like, you seen one, you seen them all. And she was like, Baltimore can be cool. You'll be with your family. You should go. You should do whatever you want to do. Emphasis on the whatever you want to do. And then she walks out. So Gregory is left there looking confused, right? So it's time for everybody to get ready for bed. And Barbara, she ends up wanting somewhere private. So she asked little tour guide, little girl, where she could go if she could suggest a room. And Melissa calls up and tells Barbara not to trust the little girl, that she might not know the layout of the museum since she's not even from Philly. So Melissa asked Barbara, is everything okay? And Barbara said, yeah, she just needs some space to calm her kids down because Ava has them traumatized after hearing Ava Night Shyamalan. Is that what she said? Ava Night Shyamalan. I don't know. Don't ask me. So she made up an excuse. Put it like that. Okay. She made up an excuse to the reason why she needed her own private area with her kids, right? So anyways, Jacob ends up coming up to Gregory and is like, do you remember what to do if I start having sleep paralysis? Jacob, who knows when you having it? Ain't nobody gonna know but you. Cause it ain't like you gonna be thrashing around. Paralysis. You ain't gonna be moving, boo. I get those too sometimes, though. It's kind of like when you're asleep, but you kind of be awake in your mind, but you can't move anything. You be having this urge to want to move something, like maybe something is happening to you, but you can't move. You can't open your eyes. You can't move your arms, your legs, like you can't get up. So yeah, I've had those moments before too. But anyway, so Gregory's like, hey, I'm gonna shake you until you wake up. And Jacob talking about something. No, just cradle my head. Gregory's like, look, I ain't got time for this. I need to talk to you. So they go aside for a little private conversation, right? So he asks Jacob, does Janine seem off to him, right? And so Jacob said he really hadn't noticed because he was paired with Morton. Talking about all of his energy has gone into keep it cool, and he better watch out for Night Jacob because he got some dog in him. I'm like, Jacob, you ain't got nothing in you. You are too sweet of a guy. Well, I don't know though, cause Jacob kind of got it a couple of episodes ago when they were trying to decide who was gonna get them tickets to their game. One of Jacob was on one that episode, slamming doors. He got up. Okay, Jacob, you might be right. Night Jacob might got a little dog, a little to him. Anyway, Jacob is like, have you asked her what's wrong? Gregory starts tripping over his words because he hasn't taken the time to ask her. And Jacob said, It's no wonder your dad is a landscaper. The way y'all beat around the bush, baby, Jacob. Oh, Jacob. So Jacob is like, I wish y'all would just kiss and get it over already. Right? And so, of course, Gregory makes a face like, and he can't look Jacob in the eye. So he's like, so Jacob already figures it out that they done already kissed, right? His eyes get big. He get all excited. He's just like, you got to be better about hiding things with your face. So he wants to know all the details. So Gregory ends up filling him in on what happened at their convention. Jacob got a little slick mad because him and Janine rolled hoes together and she did not mention not one word. And so Gregory said, she didn't because they had promised not to talk about it. And so Jacob said, you should just tell her how you feel. He was just, tell her because on the other side of that may be some good stuff. And so I said, Jacob, you are all right. This is what I'm talking about. So Gregory said, you could just see his mind turning when Jacob said that, right? And like he was probably thinking like, okay, that actually sounds like some good advice. And so he says to Jacob, bro hug. Cause y'all know Gregory don't never be in no mood for no hug, nothing like that with no Jacob. So he turns to Jacob, he's just like, bro hug. And so they do a quick like that, like that. I mean, literally, it was just that quick. It wasn't no type of lingering. It was just like, and then Gregory nods and walks off. So back over with the kids, one of them come up and gives Ava this drawing that she drew of an alien, right? It was one of those typical it was one of those stereotypical drawings, big eyes, little round head, that you would see. And yeah, I don't know what's going on out there in my neighborhood. Let me see. That was the sheriff right there. But anyway, so yeah, Ava tells the little girl though, they could look like us. You drawing it wrong. They could be one of us. They're just not used to our atmosphere. So the little girl's like, oh, so they would need like a breathing apparatus? And Ava was just like, yeah. Honey, when she said that, I already knew what Barbara was hiding in that bag. She was hiding a CPAP machine. I was just like, baby. So, and I said, they gonna think she's an alien. I said, watch. So anyway, Amber goes up to Janine and was like, I don't get a thank you for putting you next to your little boyfriend. And Janine is still sounding defeated, y'all. She's just like, what are you talking about? Ava said, I made you buddies with Gregory. You can thank me later when y'all have y'all little short, broad shoulder babies, baby. Not short, broad shoulder. Oh, yeah. Why she called Janine out like that? Why she doing my girl like that? That doggone Ava. Anyway, Janine asked Ava if anyone has ever called her selfish, right? Because she's still stuck on it. And Ava said all the time, I was just called selfish this morning. She said, but you know what? I don't care. I take care of myself. And I see you doing it too. Like going on vacation, stealing money from your mama. Janine said that is not what happened. Ava said, but it looks good on you. You're not hurting anybody. So what's the problem? I said that's the thing, Ava. She did hurt someone, and now she gonna internalize things even the more because you just said, "What's the problem if you're not hurting anybody?" So now she gonna think there is a problem because she hurt somebody. Oh, chat. Anyway, Gregory ends up coming up to her and asks if they could talk like once the kids go to sleep, right? Janine doesn't really answer him. She's still in a funk. And she basically, instead of saying yes or no, picks up her things, gathers up her children, and makes up an excuse to move to the same little secluded area where Barbara and her children are sleeping. So Jacob asked Gregory, has he spoken to Janine yet? And of course he said no, he hasn't. So Jacob, it's like encouraging him in his own little Jacob way. Um, and he tells her he needs to make it happen because, as he put it, everyone I like knows it. So basically, everyone you like needs to know it too. And Jacob, I don't know if that's true. I don't know, but hey, I'm with you though. If it's something you want, you need to go after. The worst that can happen is she turns you down, but you'll never know if you don't try, right? So anyway, Gregory goes to talk to Janine, which means at this point he's leaving his class unattended because Janine has moved to another area, right? So, if y'all recall, the mother that was talking to him about her little bad tail son that likes to pretend that he's asleep when he is really not. Yeah, that one. As soon as Gregory walked away, his whole eyes popped open. And them little eyes were looking like, yes, he is gone. Let me get up. I said, uh-oh. So Gregory tells Janine that she has seemed really excited to be for them to be paired together earlier that morning, but then she ended up talking to Maurice, and ever since then things have been different, and he just wants to know what's going on. Is she okay? And she said, well, that wasn't about you. And he said, well, it seemed like it was. And she said, you know what, just forget it. He said, but I don't want to. And she said, why not? He said, because I like you, Janine. Okay, baby, let's get it. Yes, okay. He said, I got feelings for you. But before he could finish what he had to say, y'all, whew, all hell broke loose. Look, pretend to be a sleep boy. He done got up causing all this commotion. He done stepped on somebody. So that person popped up, started yelling. Barbara pops her head up to see what's going on. She got her CPAP machine on her face. They see her. They start screaming alien. Like all hell just broke loose. So Melissa grabs her back. Ava is asking where the alien is, so the kids point towards Barbara. So Ava and Melissa go over there where Barbara, Jacob, Gregory, and Janine are standing. And so Ava is like, where is it? Gregory's like, calm down. Barbara is the alien. Here go that doggone Ava. I would never ask Melissa to take Barbara out. Jacob, you take the bet. Oh, not Ava wanting Jacob to take Barbara out with that bat, baby. So Barbara is telling everybody to calm down. She shows them her sleep machine, right? And she's just like, this is what the kids saw. This is what scared them. So in her confessional, she said that she was just recently diagnosed with sleep apnea. and that she was pretty much embarrassed by it, right? That's pretty much what it boiled down to. And she said so. She was embarrassed. And so she tells the other teachers that because of Ava's antics, the kids thought she was an alien. So Melissa ends up telling Barbara not to be embarrassed, that she is aging with dignity. While she, on the other hand, has to pack an extra pair of panties if she plans on laughing for the day. Baby, Melissa, I feel you. Are you me or am I you? Because, baby, the way women's bodies are set up, especially after giving birth, oh, child. Anyway, so Janine and Gregory, they're looking for all the students, trying to wrangle them and get them back all together so they can go back to sleep or whatever. And so they end up like searching in the same area, and they begin to have their talk again, right? And so I said, Ashley, look, how cute was this and ironic? So they had went into like, there was this big heart figure, or structure rather, and because you could walk through it. And so they end up walking through it. They cross paths, don't see any students. They come out and they're kind of searching in front of it. I said, how cute that they have this conversation. Hold on, y'all. Oh, so they have this conversation about their feelings in front of a heart structure. Oh, so anyways, Janine finally says, to him, I like you too. Like a lot, I said, yes. Oh. So Gregory has already told you he likes you. You done told him you like him a lot. Yes. We finna get some action, or so I thought. So anyway, she is smiling again, so that's a good thing. I said, okay. Okay, so they kind of brought her out of her funk. And so Gregory is just like, I kind of already knew that. And so she wants to know, how long has he been liking her? He said since pretty much his first day at Abbott. And she said, really? Me too. She said, but I couldn't admit it because of Tariq. So Janine is like, if you liked me for that long, what was up with Taylor? That was Barbara's daughter. And so he said, well, you were in a multi-presidential term relationship. Janine was just like, but then I wasn't. He said, like, are we really about to do that? She said, yeah. So what was up with Amber? He said, hey, she asked me out and you were giving me nothing. Nothing. She said, kissing you was nothing. He said, you called it a whoopsie. She said, you could have said it wasn't a whoops. He said, listen, I didn't think it was an accident or a mistake. Besides, you started dating Maurice. He was like, we were both all over the place, but we are here now. I said, okay. So they looking at each other. He looking at her. She looking at him. And I was like, okay. I mean, are we going to get to it? Like, what's up? So Janine ends up like kind of taking a step back from the moment. And so she's just saying that, talking to Maurice did change things. But it didn't change how I feel about you. It changed how I feel about me. He said, what do you mean? She said, I come to school every day happy because I get to see you and I have a friend like you. And I don't want to lose that friend. And maybe I'm being selfish. And if I need to be right now, I don't want to wind up hurting you. And she was just like, it's you. And if we did this, it would be, he says, something real. And I'm just like, if it's going to be something real, then let it be real, y'all. He said, I understand. I understand. And cue the awkward silence. Because, baby. Anyway, so after a while, Gregory was like, you know what? We should just get back. I said, oh, he looked so defeated when he said that. And she did too. I was just like, girl, take your risk, Janine. Take your risk. You never know until you try. Like, get out of that safe place, Janine. So Jacob ends up asking Gregory, how did it go, right? Gregory just shook his head. And Jacob was like, bro hug. Now, mind you, y'all know Gregory don't be down for the hugs of it all. Even early in the episode, he was just like, boop, and that was pretty much it. And so, Gregory ends up just taking Jacob. And, like, they really hugged. They hugged. Like, he had both arms around him versus just that. And he just sank into his arms this time. I was like, oh. And Jacob, you are such a good friend. I love Jacob. Heart you, Jacob. Anyway, over in the other corner, Barbara's trying to teach her class about her CPAP machine, talking about, it's me. And then she puts it on and says, it's still me. Oh, goodness. So the next day, it's the morning after that crazy night. The tour guide ends up stopping Melissa, old little young girl that's not from Philly. And so she tells Melissa, thank you, that she has learned a lot, and that she realizes that she needs to step up her local knowledge. And then she got the nerves to ask Melissa, would she like to come and volunteer? Melissa is like, work for free? You really are not from Philly. And then walks out. So now we get like this awkward tension, right, between Janine and Gregory. In her confessional, she says that she thinks she did the right thing. She thinks selfish is good for her for right now. And she said, Gregory is great. Actually, he's the greatest. And maybe I'm just not ready for him. And that's okay. I'm okay. And Janine, if you feel like that, that's fine. Like, I have felt like that before. Like, I had my eyes set on this one guy, and I just knew he was the one. I was just like, I ain't say I wasn't ready for him, though. I said, well, maybe he's not ready for me just yet. And that's okay. So that's okay. Be okay with your decisions. Like, that's okay. Anyways. So, Gregory, he was just like, he's okay as well. We see him working out in his school garden at this point. He said he's happy he put it out there, even if it didn't go how he wanted it to. And so he says that Jacob was right. There's some good stuff on the other side. And he said, it's time to plant something new. Gregory, I hope that don't mean you finna plant a new seed in somebody else. I'm tired of seeing you date all these different women. I need you to stick it out for Janine. Hold out for Janine. Okay. Anyway, the episode ends with us seeing Jacob, Gregory, and Janine going out to grab something to eat together. Okay, the three of them. And then our very last scene, we see Mr. Johnson coming into Ava's office telling her that he is cashing in his time off for the rest of the year to go work with Gregory's dad in the landscaping business. And Ava was just like, what you talking about? We got 6 more weeks left of school and you don't have any days. She said, I will see you at work tomorrow. He said, no offense to your little job here, but I got to do me, and walked out, baby. Ava got up and ran after him, told us to wait. And y'all know Ava always doing something, baby. Honey, she was getting them toes painted. So she had them little toe separators in her feet trying to run like this. Baby, she got out to that door and Mr. Johnson was already gone. Anyway, that was the end of the episode. Like, I know. I know in my mind that they can't go ahead and let Janine and Gregory be together, because then what would be the fun in that? But I did get excited when I heard them telling each other that, hey, I like you. I like you too. And I was thinking we would go get a little more action. I was not thinking Janine was just going to be like, no, let's not do this, even though we got feelings for each other. But, it is what it is. It's another great episode, and I hate that it was the season finale, but I cannot wait for the next season. I do think I will probably be reviewing season 1. I had a viewer ask me if I will, so I think during this time, I will go ahead and start dropping recaps and reviews of season 1. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. And until next time, I'll pray for you. You pray for me. And what? Bye, y'all.